Welcome to the Real Experts Podcast. I'm Brett Jennings, and for the last 15 years, I've traveled the country to meet, mentor, and mastermind with some of the brightest and best minds both inside and outside of real estate. Get ready to elevate your game as we unpack the mindset, strategies, and tactics of these elite performers achieving extraordinary results. Well, welcome to the Real Experts Podcast. I'm Brett Jennings, your host, and super excited today to be sitting down with Kevin Cruz of the Cruz Group. Kevin is an amazing real estate leader, entrepreneur, and investor. And we're going to hear about his journey to success today. And specifically, as we do on every one of the Real Experts podcasts, we're going to talk about those breakout years or breakout moments, defining moments in his business, and what mindset shifts had to happen for him to hit that next level of growth. Because ultimately, we know that the growth of your business is not outside you, it's inside you. So welcome to the show, Kevin.
Thank you. Thank you, Brett. Thank you for having me over.
It's exciting to be here. We've known each other for a while. We've explored and understood each other's businesses pretty well. And I'm excited for what you have to share, one on your personal journey, man, because it's a remarkable story. I think it sets the stage for the success you've created. So tell us a little bit about like where you came from, where, quite literally where you came from, because you emigrated to the United States, and what that journey was like for you and how it set you up for success.
Born and raised in the Philippines, came here when I was 13 in America. Started here in born in pretty much like San Mateo County, Daly City area. A lot of Filipinos are here. And like my parents, we were supposed to be here for a vacation only. I was excited to see America. I remember stepping out of the airport, or like that smell of America. I will never, ever forget that. Like I didn't even want a jacket because like I don't care how cold I am. It's like, this is different. I feel like a different human being, and like we're supposed to be here for 40 days. I remember March 29, 2001. That's when I landed here. And after that, like we went to Disneyland, we went to Vegas, all these like trips that we did. And I still remember, like super random, but like people are giving me, my family giving me money, right? Like $5, $10, $50, And I didn't spend any of that because I already knew I'm going to go back to the Philippines and feed my family in there. Feed my parents, feed my cousins. I was so excited at that time. And 2 days before we're going to go back, I'm already packed up everything. I have like $300 in my pocket. $300 in my pocket. I remember that. And my parents and my grandparents are like, Kevin, you're going to stay here in America so you can have a better life than what we had. I was like, okay. I was 13 years, like something like that, 13 years old. It's like, I was pretty young. I was like, I didn't know much better, right? It's like, okay, I'm going to stay in America, right? Thinking that I'm going to go back there eventually in like a couple of months, right? And came to find out 6 months after, they said like my visa expired. You know what? Shit, I have to stay in America now, right? So, side note, I actually created a investment company for myself. I called it $300 Enterprises, right? Fast forward.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Because that's how I started, $300. But I think that's how I came about in America. At the age of 15, I started working already at a pizza shop, Sabaro in Ceremony. Didn't have full documentation papers, so I asked my friend to just hook it up, find a way for me to get in there. So I got in, and so on. The rest is history, right? Have multiple different jobs, and got in trouble at the age of 18, not having the proper documentation. And you already know 2001 was a lot more difficult after 2001 happened, right? I came in America March 29, 2001. Unfortunate events like 9/11 happened, and the immigration got like 20 to 100 times more stricter. You already know what happened because of that, because of that fiasco, that the events that happened. So yeah, I had to deal with some challenges at the age of 18, dealing with some immigration stuff, and finally found a way to figure out how to come here and stay in America, which is having a green card, working visa, things like that. Like, I had to get married, like the whole thing, like I just couldn't imagine myself like dealing with it. And I thought my life was over. And I think that time, 18 years old, was like my wake up call. You know what? Like, I think I can be something. I can prove myself. I can be something. I put my family into trouble. And fast forward at the age of 18, I started, becoming like, I called myself like I'm a businessman. I'm an entrepreneur. Like, having a couple $100 in my pocket at that time, you know what? I got to make it happen. And my why was stronger than the how, but I got like, you know what? I got to make it happen. So, started getting involved into multi-level marketing, thinking I'm gonna be a millionaire, selling vitamins, recruiting people. But shit, dude, it's a lot, like it's not like that. It's not like that. Fast forward, I did that for 5 years and I met so many great people. But the biggest thing that I learned during that 5 years, although it didn't make me that much money, was the grit and like the personal development that you learn. Kind of like what you said, right? It's not about the outside, it's the inside in you, right? What was that thing you said?
The growth of your business is not outside of you, it's inside of you.
Yes, the growth of the business is not it, yeah, like very well said. It's the inside of you and that personal development that I learned from 18 to 23. Like I dropped out of college because I thought I was gonna be a millionaire doing this. My why was, I'm like that, I'm so driven. Like I'm like a driven, like an idiot who's driven, like I'm just like going out of my way, making things happen. And yeah, and personal development, and you won't even realize that until you actually like really reflect. Like, damn, like you actually know this much. And at 23 years old, started like an actual business, like an event production company, co-founded one, and vertically integrated, started like a sound and lighting production. We produce events, had like over 140 events. And at that time, I already have two kids, and it didn't really align with my vision of producing and throwing parties like that when your kids are like 5 and 6 years old. Seeing them like, shoot, man, like I don't want to throw events and I don't want to see my kids being part of that, but you're contributing to that society by you producing events, trying to monetize it. So I didn't really see my vision of doing that. Like I didn't really see my why, so I talked to my partner, departed, and while doing that, I was part-time in real estate 2015 while producing events and running the sound and lighting production. And I invested in multiple different companies like cannabis, like, like bought a warehouse to, all that stuff, like I did everything like you could imagine.
Yeah. So let me ask there. So like you come over to the US, you stay with your grandparents. Once you realize you're not going home, your visa runs out, find a way to get a job, work at Saboro. And at 18, you're like, hey, I'm the entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And personal growth in the going into multi-level marketing. Coincidentally, when I was in college, I did a couple of MLMs too. And that was set up. I remember that was one of the foundations was like 30 minutes a day of personal growth. Like you're going to do your prospecting, reaching out to people, but a minimum of 30 minutes every day, putting something positive into your mind. And that was one of the first success habits that I built. It sounds like it was foundational for you too. I want to dig in a little bit right here. So something happened, it looks like you're in your 20s, growing up in the Bay Area, you're a go-getter guy and the party scene's happening out there. You figure, oh, cool, I'm going to monetize this and start the event production business. But what happened for you? What was the decision? Because you started to say something there. And one of the sayings I have is like, you can get to the first level of success through hustle and grind. And that's what you did. But the next level of success comes from more alignment with like who you really are and what you want to be. So what was going on for you? Because you mentioned something about this. You had the event production business, two kids, 5 and 6, and then you started to see maybe like the life you wanted to live in the future was not congruent with the life that you were living today. Yeah. Like, hey, this club scene, party life, it's cool and fun, but now my kids are 5 and 6. And what was it was that one of the drivers that pushed you in the direction of real estate?
Good question. Very good question. And
what happened? Take us back to that.
Yeah. So I think I think there was, I've been thinking about it during that time, right? Like, is this the right thing to do or not? And I became reactive with that business, right? While thinking about that, right? Because I'm not full throttle anymore. I'm not full all in. But there was one time we had this event in San Jose. So we produce events all over, right? Bay Area and even like San Diego and Sacramento mainly. And there was one event in San Jose that one of the brokers, there's like a real estate broker that went in there, right? He was invited from one of my friends. And, he's a little bit older than us at that time right now. He came up to me. He's like, hey, Kevin, do you think you're contributing to the society doing these events? Do you think these kids are benefiting from this? Boldly, he asked me that at my event. And I knew about this person. I respect this guy so much. I was like, shit, maybe I'm not. I think that was my calling of like, you know what? I think I need to do something more that aligns with me. Not just align with me, align with my kids.
Yeah, your future.
And my future, like, what is that, right? And I didn't know I was going to do real estate at that time. but I knew I need to do something different.
Yeah, got it. So that was the first crack in your entrepreneurial foundation, your picture, where you're like, maybe this isn't it. So what was it that led you to real estate? And then let's talk about your real estate. You know, you're getting
Yeah. So really fast, like, I was trying to do something more professional now. I was in a banking too, working at the bank too sometimes, at that some moments, because like I needed to make money. All the money that we're making goes back to the company. So I studied, I got hired at Merrill Lynch, but before getting hired at Merrill Lynch, you have to pass the series license. So we took the prerequisites, and I actually studied, and I miserably failed. And I already knew this is not for me. And at that time, my ex-girlfriend is like, hey, you know what? You should do real estate. I think you'd be really, really good at it. You already know how to do marketing with all these events. You already have a big influence. People follow you already. You have all these people that promoters and stuff. Like, I see something in you that you have. They probably saw something in me that I haven't probably seen it, because they've been, at that time, my ex was in real estate. And you know what? Like, let's do it. Let's do it. Took the test, took like, multiple times, and, finally got my license in mid 2015.
Nice. And so you worked part-time at the beginning, right? You still had the event production business?
Correct.
Okay. So what was the break point for either letting go of the production business? I don't know what happened there. Maybe you can tell us whether you sold it, whether you just shut it down, and going all in on real estate. What was the deciding factor there?
So good question. So mid 2015, I was doing it part-time while still running the event production. And I think like I helped 12 families at that, for 2015. I did it in like within a couple of months, right? And and like, to me, that was like a calling for me, because the money that I'm actually making goes to my bank account. Man, I still remember my splits were like 55% or something like that, right? Like, as a solo agent.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, oh no, it was like 45% that turned to 50 to 55 or something. So I wasn't making much, and I have to pay like franchise fee and all this other miscellaneous stuff, right? I still remember that. And I didn't complain, because all the money that we're making actually goes to my pocket now. It doesn't go back to the company before payouts and stuff. Because when you own the company, you get the last payout. You have to pay everything first: vendors, partners, investors, all this, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, and you get paid
For
last.
you. And this time I was like, shoot, this is the first time I've seen like, man, I'll be super blunt. Like first time I've seen like, I think like 55,000 in my account. I was like, holy shit,
I'm getting somewhere.
I'm getting somewhere. Because
Awesome.
when I started real estate, I had less than I think I had less than 5,000 in my bank account with like couple $1,000 credit card.
So although you had
no job.
you had this successful event production company, it really was just paying to survive. You were just kind of getting by, not.
Well, it takes a while to build a business,
Yeah.
That was like the fourth year of our business. So, like the payout comes later.
Yep.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. And so you got in 2015, 2016. We talked about this before we got on the air here. 28 units in 2016, your first full year in business, which is awesome, dude. Congratulations. That's like, top 1% for sure, right? For people who've been in the business a while. 2017, your second full year, you jumped to 40 units. Okay. So 28 units to 40 units is almost a 50% increase. And it's almost humanly impossible to sell 40 units by yourself. So what was the mindset shift, and what was one of the big moves that you made to grow from 28 to 40? Did you bring in different people, or what was your thinking?
Yeah.
What was your thinking, and what was the move you made? Taking a quick break here on The Real Experts. This podcast is all about mastering the mindsets, strategies, and tactics essential for becoming the best version of yourself, both personally and professionally. If what you've heard today inspired you, don't just make this a one-off, make it a habit. Hit that subscribe button now to join this community and stay inspired. We've got an epic lineup of future guests coming your way that you won't want to miss.
Yeah. So just to backtrack, like 2015, when I started, doing two businesses, basically 2016, when full throttle real estate, I did well. I think I felt like I did well, but I noticed I ran out of time. My kids are like 7 and 8 years old now. And, I have a girlfriend, things like that. Like, I have a family. I miss a lot of functions and all that. I had to sacrifice with my time, trade time for money type of thing. So my third year, you know what? Like, I need to bring a team now. I need to bring a small team. And I looked at Keller Williams' model, and I saw like, you know what? They have a buyer's agent. They have an admin. So I did that. without knowing, no training or anything like that. I just knew I needed help. So, like I put it in social media or something like that. I let my friends know and I found one right away.
Got it.
I think that was the time that I helped 40 families because I had somebody helping me with showings, open houses, and helping me with the things like filling in the gaps.
Got it. So you had an admin so that between year 1 and year 2, you ran out of time realizing, crap, I can't do anymore. And so you decided to add leverage, which is a great key distinction. It was one of my things, same here for me, going year 1 to year 2, was this idea that I can't just trade time for money. I'm going to tap out on what I can accomplish. So for you, it was the buyer's agent and an assistant. Is that what you brought in?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Awesome. So we're documenting this journey. You started first full, you helped part-time first year, 12 families. Your first full year, 28 families. Last year, 328. So for those people listening, going from 28 deals to 328 deals in 7 years is like 10x growth. So it's remarkable. I'm curious. So 2017, 40 units, 2018, sounds like you did 41 units. So your business is pretty similar. But then between like 2018, 2019, you do 70. So again, 50% jump in growth. Then you go to, in 2020, 82 units. So from 41 sales or families helped to 82 families helped. That's doubling your business. And you did that in 2 years. What changed for you? Was it something you did? What mindset shift happened? And what big move did you make to go from 40 to 80 in 2 years?
Going from 40 to 70 or 82, right?
Yeah.
I don't think it's a mind shift fully, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like you care so much about your clients and you got better at what you do.
Mm-hmm.
One of the biggest avenues that I really got to get that growth so far with that transition is social media and really caring for your clients, because I was so diligent with clients, like more diligent than myself, like me, like for my well-being sometimes, where I put my clients first and they know that, they see that, people see that, people smell that. Yeah, I think that's what I did. And then you just got popular from there, right? People see like, wow, this person is like trending. This person is actually helping families. I got so many referrals that time. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a powerful principle in making your business durable. And that is, do work that is so amazing that the work that you do attracts people to you, versus going out and just trying to promote yourself. You got so good at what you did with what you're telling me was really putting your clients first, and you made that visible through your social media, and that all of a sudden just brought all these additional people to you.
Correct. Yeah.
Was there anything else you did in that 2-year period? Was it hiring a coach, scaling, like, because to go from that doubling between 2014 or 2018 and 2020?
No, not at the moment at that time. I think I'm just trying to be more efficient. Like I went to like Tom Ferry events. I almost coached with them. I don't know. Actually, I can't recall. All I know is like I attended so many events and I started talking to like more top producers in different other companies and such, just for me to like learn and see what they're doing, their process, and like what's helping them. Like, how are you doing it? What's your day to day? All that stuff.
Okay. No. So there's a success lesson right there. So you found people who were producing at the next level, and then you sought them out, and you were seeking, you mentioned going to seminars, going to Tom Ferry, really trying to learn as much as you can while you were going to that next level.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome. So then, we go in from 2020, 82 deals, 2021, you jumped to 252 deals.
Yes.
Okay, 1 year, almost 3x growth.
Yeah.
We like to say, right, like every jump in your business growth, big ones like that, is preceded by your personal growth. So what was the big move you made or mindset shift to go from 82 to 250 in 1 year?
I hired a business coach.
Ah,
Before I hired a business coach, I came from an epiphany of like, it was like around December time. I was laying down in bed watching Netflix or something. And I'm just like, man, do I really want to keep selling like this? Do I really want to? I mean, of course I do, right? Do I want to keep helping families, right? Of course I do. It's a product. That's what I do. But it's one of those moments, right? You get your moments of like, I want to do something else now. Man, I don't know
what was that something else? What was that something else now?
I want to build Like that's the time Kinetic started, right? The end of 2019, that's when it started.
Mhm.
And you know what? Like I was so inspired seeing it was actually you, like one of the main inspiration.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know you. I was afraid to talk to you. It's like, I had to like I know I wasn't close with Guy yet, right? And I remember you did like 440 million or something like that, or 400 deals or something.
Hmm.
And company wide, right? I was like, you jumped from like 140 million to 400. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, 150 million to 400 million. I think we did in
And
1 year.
like, yeah, I'm close, right? That's how I
Yeah.
remember. It's like, how the hell this person did it? And that's like, maybe I gotta scale this, right? Like,
Mhm.
like when the why is strong, the how is easy, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome.
And
Awesome.
so but basically, I hired a coach beginning of January, like January 2nd. You know what? Like, let's just do it. Let's hire a business coach. It was recommended by my two friends. You know what? Let's do it. I think that's what really got me to like, like to scale things.
So that exponential leap to go from 82 to 252, one, you caught a vision of somebody else doing it. In your case, it was me.
Yeah.
And then you hired a coach. You're like, I can get there.
Yeah.
I can
Yeah. The
see it.
inspiration was there. And after I got inspired first and I wanted to do something different. And I hired a coach a few weeks after that January time. Yeah.
Let me ask you this, like coaching is powerful and the coaching industry in of itself has blown up tremendously. And I've always been a big proponent of coaching, having worked with Tony Robbins in the past. And then I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars in coaching. So I know for me what the benefits of coaching are. But for you, like if you were to say in a sentence or two, like what impact does a really great coach have for you?
Somebody who really cares for you, not just the business and for your well-being. Like when you hire a coach, you want to look at not just their financial success, but you want to look at their, besides like, what they do outside the screen, what they do outside, deep inside. Do they care about their family? How's their kids? Do they spend time with their kids? What's their quality life look like? What's their health look like? Everything, all angles. You
Yeah.
want to somebody that you want to be, like you want to find a coach, like whatever they're doing in their life, whatever they did, if you want to be that person, I think that should be the coach.
That's a good role. So a coach who's also a role model.
Definitely a role model because anybody, I mean, I'm a big part of social media, right? My day and age right now, right? And like all these fucking people like talking about like, like financial and stuff like that. But like when you look at their Instagram stories and stuff, like they're like with girls and parties and drinking and all that stuff, right? But in the morning, like they're trying to teach you, like they're trying to coach you and stuff. It's not like that because time will either promote you or expose you over time. Like you will see that later on and you have to really care for you, man. Like I don't know, that's like you feel it like when you do something long enough, like you create this third eye of like knowing like if this is the right person for you or not.
Mm-mm-mm. Love it. Love it. Awesome. Well, let's round out the rest of your journey. So 2021, 252 units, 2022, 355, 2023, last year, 328. Market slowed down like 40% in 2023. You guys only just slowed down like 10%. So you gained on the market. What's going through your mind at this leg of the journey for yourself, and what's next for Kinetic?
Next for Kinetic, oh man, that's a tough question. We
What's
grew
the
so
big goal? What's the big goal for where you want to go and where you want to grow?
Man, I think the big goal for Kinetic, I mean, we just locked in an office recently. It's gonna be like 3 times more, expensive than this office, right? Man, like I think doing life together is like how to elevate each agent that we currently have right now. And I think the big vision of Kinetic is just like, I mean, kind of like what we talk about, like how do we hit that, 1 billion mark?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 1 billion mark in one calendar year. Like I don't know why that's stuck in my head. That's like a vision I cast a few years ago. Yeah, like that's the next goal right now. We're trying to achieve it next year. Some of my leaders feel like it's gonna happen in 2 years. That's the next goal with Kinetic.
I know you're going to get there. Let me ask, Kev, for our people who are listening, I mean, your journey to success has been amazing. A true kind of like from nothing to amazing success, story for you coming from the Philippines. For the people who are listening now that are wanting to go to whatever the next level is for them, what advice do you have
Go to the next level.
in their business, in their life?
I think environment.
Yeah.
Uh, be really, really cautious and be wary with your environment. Never mistake the power of influence around you.
Mm.
Number two, whatever you want to go, find that mentor. be hungry to find that mentor, invest, spend them some money. I don't care if you're broke, like you gotta invest and find that person, because that person will amplify and like 100x whatever you're doing, whatever it is. That would be good advice. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Kevin, I want to thank you for spending the time today with our listeners and inspiring us with your story. And we'll definitely be watching you as you continue to shoot for your $1 billion target and helping you along the way.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So for everyone listening, be sure to like and subscribe if you were moved and inspired, or share the podcast with someone. And until we talk again, this is Brett Jennings saying the growth of your business is inside you. Have a great one.
Thank you.
That's a wrap for today's episode of The Real Experts. If you like what you heard, take a moment and leave us a review and subscribe to join this incredible community of changemakers. Better yet, share this podcast with a friend or fellow agent who you know could benefit from these insights. If you'd like to learn more about our one-on-one or group coaching, check out our website at www.bearealexpert.com. We'll be back next week with more expert advice, so stay tuned. Until next week, don't just be an agent, be the expert.